Hi everyone. Today my class go with the leprosy, drugs acting on leprosy. So leprosy was caused by Mycobacterium leprae, which produces characteristic lesions in the skin and on the peripheral nerves. The main obligate of this intracellular organism is to its ability to survive within the microphages and on Schwann cells is the key feature of its pathogenicity. So it was discovered by Hansen in the year 1873. So it is of clinically 4 types, that is lepromatous leprosy, tuberculoid leprosy, interdermite leprosy, dimorphic also called borderline leprosy. So what is these are the types of leprosy. Coming to the lepromatous, lepromatous shows negative lepromin test. The lesions can be seen on face, nose, ears, eyes, and also on lymph nodes. Then coming to the tubercular leprosy, it shows a strong positive test with lepipromin test. It predominantly affects the nerves. Then interdermite is a confusing forms of, that is early stage with no clues about the disease, and borderline unstable conditions where immunity is very low. So this lepromatous leprosy and borderline leprosy with plenty lesions comes under multibacillary. Tuberculoid leprosy and interdermite with less lesions comes under PUC bacillary. So this is just an introduction to the leprosy. So what is your aim of the treatment is to achieve a clinical cure, to receive a bacteriological cure, to treat with the physical deformities, and to minimize the nerve and tissue damage. So this is the main theme of treating this leprosy. So the causative organism is Mycobacterium leprae. It's acid fast rod shaped organisms. I already told this point, that is it is also known as Hansen's disease, which was discovered by the same scientist in 1873. So it is a long incubation period because it's very slow infection starts. So long period, it appears slowly for 3 to 5 years. The primarily affects superficial tissues, especially skin and peripheral nerves. Leprosy patients is someone who have skin patches or patches with a definite loss of sensations. So what is the leprosy patches? These are pale or red color or copper colored patches. They can be flattened or raised. They don't have any itch, usually don't have any hurt, lack sensation to heat, touch or pain, can appear anywhere. So this is a pictures, 2 or 3 slides we are going to discuss the pictures. Just see the pictures on this child. Leprosy patches which are in red or pale color. Hand deformities in leprosy. This is another picture for leprosy. So patients who were forced to leave the lepra colonies until in 1940s. This is a lepra colony outside the town or village. This is a scientist who discovered this leprosy in 1873 by Dr. Gerhard Hansen from Norway. The transmission nowadays, like you have COVID, it is a nasal or oral droplets from person to person. It is a dermal, through dermal inoculation also there is a transmission. So incubation period ranges from 6 months to 40 years or more. This average takes at least 2 to 5 years an average for incubation period. And immunocompressed patients are more susceptible to disease. That is like HIV patients are more susceptible to the disease. Like what are the signs of leprosy? Anesthetic or hypoanesthetic skin lesions or lesions. Enlarged peripheral nerves with impairment of sensation in area supplied. Acid fast bacilli with the skin smear. So these are the signs sufficient for the diagnostic of leprosy. According to National Leprosy Eradication Program, that is in the year of 2009, the classification, see the classification. So we already discussed this part, that is pucibacillary and multibacillary. So lepromatous and borderline are multibacillary, that is MB, and tuberculoid and interdermite are pucibacillary with less lesions. So clinically, if you want to go with the clinically touch more than 5 lesions, we should treat with the multibacillary treatment. So coming to this puc difference between this pucibacillary and multibacillary, 1 to 5 lesions on the skins with PB. With MB it is 6 or more skin lesions. Now when come with the PB, it is no nerve or only one nerve involvement, 1 to 5 skin lesions. It's more nerve involvement. The damage of nerve is more in the MB. The smear, if we go with the test with lepromin, that is but nothing but we are just giving this skin and dermatitis test. So skin smear negative to all sides with PB, the skin smear positive with the one side. This is the test, skin test with this lepromycin, positive with tuberculoid and negative with lepromatous. So coming to the classification, sulfone, dapsone, diamine, diphenyl, sulfone, benzene derivatives, that is clofazimine, antitubercular, rifampicin, ethanamide. I think so you people gone through this anti-TB drugs. If not, it's very important drugs. Rifampicin is a very important drug, both with TB and leprosy. It's maybe a 4 mark question to you people. And other antibiotics, ofloxacin, moxifloxacin, minocycline, clarithromycin. So ofloxacin and moxifloxacin belongs to fluoroquinolones. Minocycline, which is a tetracycline. Clarithromycin is a microlide group of drugs. Coming to the dapsone. The dapsone diamine diphenyl sulfone DDS, which is cheapest, oldest, simplest and most active, which is most commonly used member of this class. The main mechanism of dapsone is just to inhibit the PABA, nothing but para-amino benzoic acid incorporation into folic acid by folate synthesis. You see, this is just a mechanism of action, PABA. So there is no further formation of folic acid, so there is no further growth of cell. Coming to the dapsone resistance, it's again a primary, secondary and persistence. So primary resistance is when the infection was contacted from a patient harboring resistance bacilli. Secondary resistance, which develops during monotherapy, single therapy, nothing but monotherapy with single dose, single therapy in individual patient with dapsone. Persistence during drug sensitive bacilli, which become dormant, hide in some tissues and are not affected by any drug. They may stage a comeback after the drug is withdrawn. Coming to the pharmacokinetics of dapsone, it's completely absorbed orally, widely distributed in the body, and the penetration through CSF is very poor. The plasma half-life is more than 24 hours. The adverse effects of dapsone with the chronic use, especially with the chronic use, we can have a mild hemolytic anemia. It should be contraindicated with the G6PD deficiency patients, especially should not use, and gastric intolerance, cutaneous reactions, especially with the skin, allergic reactions, fixed dose eruptions, phototoxicity and rarely dermatitis, all are related to skin diseases. The adverse effects also related to the skin diseases, skin dermatitis, etc. etc. So hepatitis and agranulocytosis are very rare complications. Coming to the sulfone syndrome, develops 4 to 6 weeks after starting dapsone treatment, consisting of fever, malaise, that is discomfort, feeling discomfort to a particular thing. The thing is not known. What is the discomfort? The feeling of discomfort. Lymph nodes enlargement, jaundice, and anemia. So, what is the treatment if there is sulfone syndrome? Just stop the dapsone and just go with the corticosteroids, especially with the prednisolone therapy, the suppository measures. Contraindications. So it should not be given to severe anemic patients because we already have a hemolytic anemia. So we should not go with the patients with severe anemia, and it should not be given with G6PD deficiencies and in hypersensitivity reactions. Coming to the other group of drug, that is clofazimine. It is a static and anti-inflammatory properties. Main mechanism of this drug is it interferes with the template functions of DNA in M. leprae, alternate the membrane structure and its transport functions, disruption of mitochondrial electron transport chain. So this is the mechanism of action of this drug. Coming to oral activity, it is 40 to 70% observed. It accumulates in phagocytes and gets deposited in many tissues, including subcutaneous fat, as needle-shaped crystals. The entry in CHF is very poor and T-half of it 70 days. So that intermittent treatment is possible with this drug. Because of its anti-inflammatory property, it is valuable in lepra reactions. Nothing but it is acute episodes of chills, fever, skin eruptions, malaise occurring due to chronic cause of leprosy. So we are having the slides about the lepra reactions. Further we will go to slides. Coming to the adverse effects of clofazimine. Skin, reddish black discoloration of skin, discoloration of hair, body secretions, dryness of skin and itching, acidiform eruptions and phototoxicity. These are the skin related adverse effects of this drug. Coming to the GIT symptoms, early syndrome and late syndrome. Early syndrome, nausea, anorexia, abdominal pain, weight loss and enteritis with intermittent loose stools. And late syndromes are deposition of clofazimine crystals in the intestinal submucosa. Coming to the other group of drug, that is antitubercular, that is rifampicin, most potent cidal drug for M. leprae. It remains effective in leprosy even if given once a month. It should not be given to the patients with hepatic or renal dysfunction, as well as during ENL, that is erythroma nodosum leprosum. It's a very critical condition. So ENL, nothing but erythroma nodosum leprosum, is a complications, immunomediated complications of leprosy, characterized by the presence of multiple inflammatory systems such as fever, malaise, arthritis, etc. and reversal reactions in leprosy patients because it can release large quantities of mycobacterial antigens by inducing rapid bacillary killing. So coming to the other drug, that is rifampicin. Same main theme of or main mechanism of action of rifampicin is inhibit DNA dependent RNA polymerase of microorganisms but interferes with the bacterial RNA synthesis. The adverse effects of rifampicin is decoloration of urine, tears, flu-like syndrome and hepatotoxicity. Coming to the other group of drug, that is ofloxacin, which is chloroquinolone. The cidal to M. leprae used in alternative regimes in case of rifampicin is not used. To shorten the duration of treatment, reduces changes of drug resistance. Minocycline is a tetracycline. Because of its high lipophilicity, it penetrates into M. leprae. Vertigo is the only serious complications of its long-term use, and it is recommended for alternate multi-drug therapy regimes. Clarithromycin is a bactericidal, but it is less bactericidal when compared with the rifampicin. It is being included in the alternate MDS regimes. Coming to the multi-drug therapy of leprosy. So with MB and PB, the rifampicin for MB is 600 milligrams once a month, which was supervised again. For PB, it is 600 milligrams once a month supervised. Coming to the dapsone, it is 100 mg daily self-administration, same with the PB. With the clofazimine, it is 300 mg once a month supervised and 50 mg daily self-administration, which is not used for the PB. Duration is 12 months and PB is 6 months. Coming with the PB adult treatment, see with the red color capsule, first day of starting the therapy, we should go with the 2 capsule of rifampicin, that is 300 mg into 2, and 1 tablet of dapsone 100 mg once a day from day 2 to 28 days. 1 capsule of dapsone 100 mg should be taken, and full course of 6 blaster packs for 6 months is used for PB. For MB, first day 2 capsules of rifampicin 300 mg into 2, 3 capsules of clofazimine 100 mg into 3, 1 capsule of dapsone 100 mg. Once a day, that is from day 2nd to 28 days, 1 capsule of clofazimine, 1 capsule of dapsone, and the course is 12 blaster packets for 12 months. Coming to the lepra reactions, I already told this. There is acute episodes of chills, fever, skin eruptions. It is again of 2 types, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is reversible and type 2 is called as, I already told this, erythroma nodosum leprosum. It's a very serious adverse effect, serious condition. Coming to the type 1, which is reversible, delayed hypersensitivity to M. leprae antigen seen in tuberculoid leprosy and borderline leprosy cases. Cutaneous ulcer, multiple nerve involvement with sudden swollen, painful tender nerves seen after completion of therapy. Type 2, erythroma nodosum leprosum, occasionally seen with lepromatous leprae. Arthur's type of reactions, nothing but hypersensitive reaction that occurs several hours to days following the intradermal injection of vaccine. Due to release of antigens from killed bacilli. ENL, which is mild, severe and life-threatening. Sudden onset, extension lesion enlarges, It swallowed, red, painful, increases in number, fever, and constitutional symptoms accompany. So coming to the treatment for the type 1 is clofazimine 200 milligrams daily, prednisolone 40 to 60 milligrams per day. For severe reactions, dosage is gradually increased over 2 to 3 months period. Indications for prednisolone: neuritis, lesions that threatens to ulcerate, lesions appearing at cosmetically important site. It is a phase. For the type 2, that is ENL, high Repra reactions, clofazimine 200 mg daily, prednisolone 40 to 60. It is rapidly given, and thalidomide, which is used for the morning sickness previously, which is also called as thalidomide disaster, is currently recurrent with, can be given 100 to 300 mg per day. Other drugs for Lepra reactions are analgesics like aspirin, antipyretic like paracetamol, antibiotics like chloroquine, etc. can be used. And what are the related problems with this? Severely, we know this nerve abscess, insensitive and injurities, and this is sweating, arthralgia, and other side effects to the nose, throat, and ear. So, thank you. What is the main theme of today's classes? To eliminate leprosy, we need to detect the patients and treat them with MDS. Thank you. Stay safe, stay home.